Welcome to the Laredo Chamber of Commerce recording session for the Mayor's Candidate Forum. We at the Chamber understand the desire of our business community to be educated in the most critical issues that will affect entrepreneurs in the next 4 years. In this session, you'll find relevant commentaries from the candidates regarding economic development agendas, business incentives, and their collaboration with different civic entities to foster a business-friendly city. Now more than ever, we need your vote as it will impact logistics and trade, commerce, U.S.-Mexico relations, and the local business community. In March 2020 primaries, only 16% of registered voters came out and voted. We welcome you and your employees, your staff, friends, family, everyone to take advantage of these conversations with the candidates so that you make the most informed decisions based on Laredo business needs. We invite all of the candidates to participate in this discussion and now present those who accepted our invitation to focus on a conversation brought to you by the Laredo Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, and let's come out and vote.
Juan Manuel Garza, mayoral candidate for the city of Laredo.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
Okay. First and foremost, I would like to introduce income-based permits for business owners of Laredo and small business owners. I believe that this will allow for them to give them the economic tools to grow as for themselves to expand and have the right economic tools to flourish in the city of Laredo. For restaurant permits, for food and beverages as well. I would like to give property tax cuts as well to bring large companies to Laredo and have them, operate in Laredo. I believe it's important to bring companies to make sure that Laredo expands, and doing so we'll have a much larger community in Laredo, Texas. And we need large companies such as Dell, we need, Microsoft. We need to start thinking bigger in Laredo, and I think that's the first step is making sure that the companies here don't leave, the businesses, and make sure we bring back businesses to grow in Laredo, Texas. As well, we can be giving property taxes reductions to low-income households, as not so long as they prove that they're investing the money back into the property and making sure that the Laredo community looks beautiful. I go out to the south side of Laredo, and it doesn't actually have anywhere in specific, but I see some beautiful households, and I see others that are not at that same level of capacity. But I think we need to start focusing on making sure the entire community of Laredo, no matter where you go, whether it's the downtown, whether it's the Mines Road area, anywhere, we need to start investing more into our community.
Thank you so much. How will you improve the Central Business District?
The Central Business District? You mean the downtown area, right? Okay. I actually plan to introduce an idea that I got from Lubbock, Texas, where I went to school. And I want to, the first Friday of every month, have a community-based event where I'll close off the streets. Part of the place that I have desired is the San Agustin Plaza. It's a central historical plaza where we can close it off and have local bands out there, have kids walking around, have local vendors, and make sure that the community gets a lot more involved, because that area is so beautiful and I believe is so underserved, and we need to bring in fresh life into the central area. Another thing is, Iturbide Street, recently people have been leaving the downtown area because I knew it was going to be a failure long before it came into fruition of having all these bars open there, because you can't mix bars and hope to have a strip of nightlife and have businesses in between. It doesn't work like that, and I don't believe it's ever gonna flourish unless we change that. I do have many ideas for renovations as well. Starting with making sure that we clean up the downtown area. We want to make it a lot more presentable. Recently, City Council approved a sign that Iturbide Street, and I'm for one against it, because I don't think we should be investing money into a sign of a street, that make it look nice when the street itself is not presentable. And that is practically what I have to say about the matter.
Please just answer yes or no. Will you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Yes.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
Yes, highly, definitely.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
I wasn't aware that they had discretionary funds, but you know, the council members shouldn't have the right for that. I believe that should go straight into the community. So yes, I'm okay with getting rid of those funds.
How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
I've actually taken a look at the Viva Laredo plan, and I believe that it's a highly flawed plan. I believe that we need to reamp that plan itself and make sure that the community can have a say into this plan. Because for the downtown mall, for example, I had very high expectations for it, and you can go right now today, any given time, and it will not be full. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of the planning of it. The presentation of it is very important. And another thing is the fact that they didn't bring the stores that they should have been bringing a long time ago. So in my opinion, that's one of the things that was part of incorporated into the plan that I don't think was executed properly. I would like to plant a lot more trees all around Laredo. I believe specifically I saw that it was part of the planning, but we need to make the entrance of Laredo beautiful, starting with the entrance of International Bridge 1 and International Bridge 2. I believe planting trees, making the community a lot more beautiful with lights and such would make a huge, huge difference. Other things would be the bike master plan. I don't believe that's properly executed. San Bernardo has a bike lane that I think is a huge hazard, as well as Del Mar, Clark, where people should not be riding the bicycle so near traffic, heavy traffic specifically. I'm okay with the Bob Bullock, where you have an entirely safe area for the bikes to be crossing, as well as pedestrians, and that's executed a lot at a higher level. But other than that, I am against the way the city has executed the bike master plan. We need, what else? I can easily talk about the wind turbine projects that they want to set up here in Laredo. I personally have worked in wind and solar energy projects. I support solar energy, like a solar energy farm here in Laredo, but wind turbines, personally, I don't think Laredo is the great place. You need high elevation, high winds for that, and we don't have that here in Laredo.
Thank you very much for your time.
Roque Vela Jr., candidate for mayor of the city of Laredo.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
There's so many different tools that are available. I personally prefer the 380 tool only because you are able to control the amount of investment and, more importantly, the jobs that are created. And whenever that money that is flowed into the city, so the way a 380 works is you come up with an agreement how much investment is supposed to be made, how much sales tax is going to be created, how much property tax is going to be created, and how many jobs are going to be created. And then you have different tiers. And if some tiers aren't met, then whatever money was supposed to be reimbursed to the developer, then we will renegotiate that to a certain extent. So it keeps the city council still in control of the people's money, and then also obviously holds the developer accountable as well. And then of course there's always the TERS. The TERS is a really nice tool that we're able to use in particularly underserved areas, blighted areas that are really in need of redevelopment. So the way that works is, and the beauty about that is normally it's in an area that's already, the city's already providing service to: fire, police, public works, parks, etc. So now we're not getting any extra expenses that the city would be incurring, and we're just getting that extra investment. So once you create that, then whatever the increment is in that reinvestment, you're able to use that and leverage it and put that back into the development. So those are two really, really cool, important ones that I would be leaning on. The 380 is my favorite, but in certain circumstances, a TERS is definitely one that we look at that we can use to specifically reinvest into blighted areas.
Question 2. How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
Great question. I think the Viva Laredo plan, number one, is a plan that all city council members, all city councils should really look at, specifically because it was a plan that the community had so much input into. The community was involved heavily with putting that comprehensive plan together. And it's going to be, as mayor, something that we can use to bring everybody back to center. So many times city council tends to kind of chase their tail in a circle, for lack of a better term. And that's, as a mayor, it's able for us to make sure that we're coming back to center, getting everybody focused on what's important and staying the course, if you will. So that's important to be able to use to bring everybody back together. As far as how would I use it, how well has the city council been following it? I mean, like the city council, again, has been chasing their tail in circle for the past at least 4 years. And a lot of that is because of the lack of direction and leadership within the mayor's office in particular. And I think by us focusing in on that and making sure that we're giving the people what they want, because again, there was so much community involvement putting this comprehensive plan together that it would be important for us to get back to that and making sure that we're following what the people want, because at the end of the day, that we are here to be able to serve the people, the business community, along with your average constituent as well. So the council hasn't done a very good job, but I think a lot of that is just because of that void of leadership and the lack of direction.
Question 3. How will you improve the central business district?
A TERS. I mean, luckily the downtown already has a TERS that has been established, and there is money that has been incurring there. So we'll have a nice little chunk of money that we can use, so we can be able to reinvest into it. And it's really just about us understanding the business community within the central business district, and also the people that live there. There hasn't been, as much as we tried to reinvest into downtown and the central business district, we just haven't been able to really nail down something that works. And I think a lot of that is because there's so many different ideas. There's so many people that are so passionate about what's going on down there or what isn't going on down there. And it's really just about getting everybody back together, getting back to center, and making everybody understand that you're not always going to get everything that you want. There's going to be times where you're going to have to compromise. And again, that's going to take a certain type of leader, somebody who understands the different economic tools, somebody who understands that what can and cannot be done, but more importantly, somebody who understands people and understands all the passion that is involved with the people, the stakeholders that are down there. And again, bringing them together and making sure that we're all in it we all want the same thing. There's just different ways and different directions to be able to accomplish what needs to happen down there. And like so many other things that are going on in the city of Laredo right now, it's really about leadership and accountability, and the lack of both of those here lately. And I think that's one of the things that I can bring to the table, making sure that we bring everybody back together and understanding what needs to get done, and more importantly, how to get it done.
Will you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Absolutely.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
Yes.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
Huge yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
My name's Gustavo Gonzalez. A lot of people know me as Gunnery Sergeant Gonzalez, or Gunny for my rank, military rank in the Marine Corps.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
Well, primarily right now we have to look at the budget, see what funds we can allocate left and right. And then the other thing that I've been thinking, based on the question, we gotta start reaching out to different or bigger industries, just like Amazon, for example, and try to see if we can incentivize to bring them down to Laredo, hopefully establishing more business growth and, of course, employment opportunity and whatnot. Ideally, I do think that we do need to set up some type of meeting or some type of an agenda where we can bring in the council, the residents, and the and entrepreneurs locally here to come together and come up with some type of a plan or strategy for that as well.
Thank you so much. Question 2. How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
I'll be very honest. I feel that topic has been very dormant just because of everything that's been going on with the current the community issues and whatnot. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research and I looked at that, and I'm all for it. I want to obviously. I myself, I'm a big fitness enthusiast. I stay in shape just because of the military, my business, the type of business industry that I'm in, for my family and whatnot. But I'm all about growth, and so I am pro for that. I just wish, the community or even the city would have, promoted that or marketed it a little bit more, because again, this is the first time that I hear about that. Mm-hmm.
Question 3. How will you improve the central business district?
Again, going back to the budgets, right? We got to start looking at what funds we can allocate, even probably having to use some of the taxpayers' money to continue to, promote growth. I'd like to see Laredo thrive in the future. I know that right now it's going through a crisis, and I think the biggest issue that I see here is, the community wants change. They want to see something different. We keep talking about new blood, new ideas, new strategies and whatnot. And right now with what's currently going on, the 10 candidates, I just feel like it's a Rolodex. It's the same people running over and over again. And so again, that's one of the reasons why I decided to step up and take some action. I want to see, given the opportunity to see what we can come up with. Again, just thinking how, to run a business. Laredo should be pretty much run like a business. And of course, to a certain extent, like military operations as well, just moving forward and trying to solve problems and whatnot to whatever's going on within the community.
From this point on, we will have the yes and no questions. Answer
Sure.
yes or no. Will you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Yes.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
Yes.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Dr. Vico Trevino, practicing physician here in Laredo.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
The tools that can be identified is, first of all, affordable housing. Also, we need to think of home ownership. People have to have their houses. And creation of job programs and teaching programs for jobs. Those are the main 3 things.
Question 2. How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo Plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
I do not think that the city of Laredo has done a good job in following the comprehensive plan, because the plan indicates by city charter, explained in the city charter, that there should be at least yearly discussions about the comprehensive plan and modifications if needed. And the plan has to be reviewed by the city manager and sent to the city council, and then to planning and zoning. Planning and zoning would give recommendations, and then the city council would either act on it by ordinances and put out for discussion to the public and input by the public. So these things have not been done. So I don't think this has been taken to that amount. So I don't think the city has done a good job with this.
Thank you so much. Question 3. How will you improve the central business district?
This is a thing that's very important. The downtown district is depleted, deteriorated, and it's actually an embarrassing site. Especially, it is the front door to our house, and we are the gateway to the Americas, and this does not reflect who we are. So I don't think we can just ignore it and just see what happens. The bad thing is that it could turn into a slum, and then it would attract crime and drug cartels, and eventually this would impact the whole city. So I think the city needs to invest in infrastructure and beautification of downtown. It's a thing that has to be done, because the contrary would be very detrimental.
From this point on, we will have the yes and no questions. Please just answer yes or no. Would you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Yes.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
Yes.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, my name is Mercurio Martinez III. I'm a sitting city councilman for District 3.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
The city has several areas, developed areas that are in a state of deterioration. Those are older sections of town, and there are different economic tools that one can use for helping these communities, these areas, to revitalize them. There are tax incentive tools that are used, NEZs, TERS, etc. And the premise of this is that you blanket the area that you want to target, and you allow for the owners of the property to invest it back into their property, to give it the facelift that it needs to revitalize a section. And you incentivize them by not, let's say you have a increase in property value by investing in it. Well, then you limit the amount of taxes paid on added value. Those areas those are the tools that a municipality can use. We are certainly doing that in the district that I represent. We are about to embark on a revitalization of Corpus Christi Street, which at one point was a thriving area, and since the building of the Laredo Medical Center on Saunders, well, then a lot of these doctors left, but it left a lot of buildings that needed to be revitalized, and so now these are the type of tools that we are using so that we can perk it up, so to speak.
Question 2. How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
The City of Laredo adopted the Viva Laredo Comprehensive Plan for Development. Since its adoption, it has adhered to the code. You can see part of that code being followed if you go to the truck route on Santa Maria. You have a bicycle lane, and I know that people have called about why do we have a bicycle lane in a truck route, and it's because of the code that is being followed. The code is, in essence, the comprehensive code plan is fairly new, and so it needs to be tweaked. And that's why we need to put together a committee of engineers, developers, City of Laredo planners together, just to fine-tune what this document is. Not every document is perfect, and that's why when it comes to economic development and when it comes to development as a whole, one must keep track of what they're doing right now, but also be able to adjust as the years go by. We have the green space ordinance that needs to be adjusted as well, but the city is following the comprehensive code to this date.
Question 3. How will you improve the central business district?
One of the things that we need to do to improve the central business district is to give it the facelift. Such as your home, you live in your home for a lot of years, and after a while you kind of get tired of the same old colors. So you paint it. You paint the exterior, you remodel the inside, you redo the bathroom, you add some features to your backyard. Maybe you add a pool, or if you already had a pool, you add some new furniture.
And the city is no different. You need to give a facelift to the inner center, the central business district. Again, I'll go back to Corpus Christi Street. We are completely going to revitalize the Corpus Christi Street, and we'll be bringing in bike lanes, parking areas, some trees, etc. The intersections will be redone, and hopefully with a new look, some of your building owners will start to remodel theirs as well, and we'll give them every incentive tax-wise for them to do that. And our downtown area has to transform. No longer are we that wholesale business. Downtown needs to transform to the new downtown with shops, with boutiques, with restaurants, even with apartments. It's time that we move and advance forward rather than just let it die. You need to give it that shot on the arm.
From this point on, we will have the yes and no questions. Please just answer yes or no. Will you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Absolutely.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
I sure do.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
No.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cynthia Mares. I am currently the owner and CEO of Mares & Associates Incorporated.
Question 1. What economic development tools will you utilize to incentivize growth in underserved areas?
That's a good question. You know, there's so much in Laredo. This economy is just, overtaking so fast and furiously. Our city is growing so fast. I think we need to avail ourselves of the current employees that we have who are knowledgeable in that area, but as well look outside and see what other resources may be there to help us reach those grants or numbers or money that may be out there that will help us incentivize and move our community forward.
Question 2. How well do you think the city has followed the Viva Laredo plan, and how would you incorporate the plan into your platform?
I think we have fallen short in a lot of aspects of that plan. What happens here, I think we all get excited when we've got a new project. We bring people together, there's people all energized, and for some reason or another, things fall through, and then we don't hear about those projects anymore. So I would like to sit, assess, and evaluate, why that is happening and where that plan is. Does it need modification? Does it need, another revitalization, an injection of some newer ideas and things? Because that is a very critical element of this economy. Laredo, our downtown area, is just a sad area. And people are saying, are you going to revitalize the downtown area? What are we doing about all these components? And there's just so many issues. And how do you tackle all of them? You take one at a time and move forward with that. But to me, what's important is to let the people know what is going on every step of the way. They want to know, how are you spending our money and where is our money going? So I think accountability and transparency are very, very important, as qualities and things to bring forth to the table to our community.
Question 3. How will you improve the central business district?
Well, that's a good question as well, because yesterday, as a matter of fact, a lady approached me and said that she was born here but had left Laredo and was back after so many years, and she was just appalled at what happened to the downtown area. And so she says, how come the city is not doing anything to revitalize that downtown area? And I said, well, that's one of my platform commitments, to make sure that, I'm very much pro-economic growth. I'm very much small business owner oriented because I am a small business owner. And when I was a member of the chamber, I was the chairperson of the Small Business Committee. So it's important because that is the energy, that is the heart, of what happens in Laredo. So it's important to bring people together, but follow through with whatever plan we're going to do. But so I would work closely with whoever wants to roll up their sleeves, contribute, like we say, the elbow grease. And if the city doesn't have any money, there's money out there somewhere, and people that are willing to just, like I said, bring a bucket of paint and a paintbrush and say, show me what to do and tell me what to do. And I think it's just about energizing people, motivating them that this is their city and we need to take control of it and make it a better place for everyone.
From this point on, we will have the yes and no questions. Please just answer yes or no. Will you continue your office participation in Breakfast with the Mayor?
Definitely, yes.
Do you support a convention center in Laredo?
I certainly do.
Are you in favor of eliminating discretionary funds for city council members?
Okay, now go back. I guess it's a double. No. No. No.
Thank you very much for your time. We thank you for your time and tuning into the Laredo Chamber of Commerce Mayor's Candidates broadcast. For more information, please visit us on our social media or at www.laredochamber.com.